So Rand Paul and Dr. Fauci got into it again. I bet you at this point, Fauci dreads anything to do with Rand Paul and is plotting that man's demise.
Dr. Fauci, as you are aware, it is a crime to lie to Congress. Section 1001 of the U.S. Criminal Code creates a felony.
I found that funny. It has nothing to do with Fauci. But you watch this woman in the blue, Dr. Woodcock. You see her moving as he's speaking, her little condescending smile towards Rand Paul. I'm sure they all don't like him. I mean, this woman in the black jacket is literally looking down her nose. But watch what happens, and it's very quick as far as how long it stays on her, but it's long enough to see that stressed her. Oh, lie to Congress. Oh, instant freeze. It's like, holy shit. I digress. Anyways, that was a funny.
Section 1001 of the U.S. Criminal Code creates a felony and a 5-year penalty for lying to Congress. On your last trip to our committee on May 11th, you stated that the NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And yet, gain-of-function research was done entirely in the Wuhan Institute by Dr. Shi and was funded by the NIH. I'd like to ask unanimous consent to insert into the record the Wuhan virology paper entitled Discovery of a Rich Gene Pool of Bat SARS-Related Coronaviruses. Please deliver a copy of the journal article to Dr. Fauci. In this paper, Dr. Shi credits the NIH and lists the actual number of the grant that she was given by the NIH. In this paper, she took 2 bat coronavirus genes, spike genes, and combined them with a SARS-related backbone to create new viruses that are not found in nature. These lab-created viruses were then shown to replicate in humans. These experiments combine genetic information from different coronaviruses that infect animals but not humans to create novel artificial viruses able to infect human cells. Viruses that in nature only infect animals were manipulated in the Wuhan lab to gain the function of infecting humans. This research fits the definition of the research that the NIH said was subject to the pause in 2014 to 2017, a pause in funding on gain of function. But the NIH failed to recognize this, defines it away, and it never came under any scrutiny. Dr. Richard E. Bright, a molecular biologist from Rutgers, described this research in Wuhan as the Wuhan lab used NIH funding to construct novel chimeric SARS-related coronaviruses able to infect human cells and laboratory animals. This is high-risk research that creates new potential pandemic pathogens that exist only in the lab, not in nature. This research matches, these are Dr. E. Bright's words, this research matches, indeed epitomizes, the definition of gain-of-function research done entirely in Wuhan, for which there was supposed to be a federal pause. Dr. Fauci, knowing that it is a crime to lie to Congress, do you wish to retract your statement of May 11th where you claimed that the NIH never funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan?
Senator Paul, I have never lied before the Congress.
Microphone.
Your microphone.
So he's aggravated. He's so aggravated he forgot about his whole position on this mic thing. Now, it doesn't take a genius to sit there and say, oh, he's aggravated and extremely stressed. But the interesting part that I find is the rescue issue.
Senator Paul, I have never lied before the Congress, and I do not retract that statement.
So you see the believe me look. Every time he talks at this point, he's raising up and hunching himself. He's getting very stiff.
This paper that you are referring to was judged by qualified staff up and down the chain as not being gain of function. Let me finish.
You take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans,
right.
You're saying that's not gain of function?
Yeah, that is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially. You do not know what you are talking about.
So this is the interesting part. He's starting to look You do not know what you are talking about. And he looks over, whom I can only assume, because it happens again, to the person having the say in this committee. So he's looking to her.
Talking about.
Let's
Okay,
read
you
from the
get one
NIH
person.
Let's read from the
Madam
NIH
Chair, can I
definition of
answer the
gain of
question?
function.
So again, he looks towards her again. Madam Chair, he wants backup. He wants to be rescued. Or in a sense of he wants strength behind him because his strength is gone. Now, prior, Dr. Fauci, he didn't need the strength of the people in the room because he had it kind of hidden. And I mean hidden in the sense of, metaphorically, you go into a restaurant and you definitely can pay the bill, but you look like a homeless person or a lot of people disrespect you. But you know it's okay because you can pretty much buy the place. Now he's going into the restaurant and he's broke and he's trying to pretend as if he has money and the people don't respect him. And he's looking now for allies in the restaurant. And in this case, Congress.
This is your definition that you guys wrote. It says that scientific research that increases the transmissibility among mammals is gain of function. They took animal viruses that only occur in animals and they increased their transmissibility to humans. How you can say that is not gain of function?
It is not.
It's a dance, and you're dancing around this because you're trying to obscure responsibility for 4 million people dying around the world from a pandemic.
And let's let Dr. Fauci.
I have to, well, now you're getting into something. If the
So you hear her rescue him and let him speak.
point that you are making is that the grant that was funded as a sub-award from EcoHealth.
And now you see him with his hand up. So he's physically showing he wants Rand Paul to stop. And he's trying to keep him at bay with this hand as he's speaking with it. It's closed. It's up in a stop motion. Stop, 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 stop. And he's still stressed. So the little bit of rescue that this woman said, let him speak, basically, isn't enough to calm that part of the mind that says, I have friends. Now the mind is in the mindset because the stress is so high. He's trying to keep that person. And usually when humans do this, they overdo it, which is what you see him do as he freaks out.
To Wuhan created SARS-CoV-2. That's where you are getting.
And there's the freak out.
Let me finish.
We don't know.
Well,
we don't
wait
know
a minute.
if it did
I
come
can-
from the lab, but all the evidence is pointing that it came from the
He's shaking. He's going up higher and higher, not only in his octave, but in his body. He's trying to be bigger, trying to be louder than his foe.
lab, and there will be responsibility for those who funded the lab, including.
As you see contrast to Rand Paul here, Dr. Rand Paul. His voice is getting lower. He is not afraid because he has strength, whereas Fauci is getting higher because he is afraid.
Including yourself.
I totally
This committee
resent,
will allow the witness to respond.
I totally resent the lie that you are now propagating, Senator, because if you look at the viruses that were used in the experiments, that were given in the annual reports, that were published in the literature, it is molecularly impossible.
No one's saying those viruses caused it.
It
No
is
one alleging that
molecularly.
those viruses caused.
So you see him now, he's continuously looking towards the chairwoman to tell him to shut up. Take my side. Silence him for me. And she is not doing it. He's constantly looking for that rescue. And she is ignoring it. And she gives him a token bone every once in a while.
Caused the pandemic. What we're alleging is that gain of.
And she did not. She is letting Rand Paul chew that head off. Now we're going to go look at something to see how he deals and the interactions that he has with the Democrats. Is he completely abandoned?
The one.
Time is expired, but I will allow the witness to.
Let me just finish. I want everyone to understand that if you look at those viruses, and that's judged by qualified virologists
Now he is so stressed, he's got this rubber band that he's playing with in his fingers.
and evolutionary biologists, those viruses are molecularly impossible
No one's
to
saying
result
they are. No
in
one's saying those viruses
SARS-CoV-2.
caused the pandemic.
Senator Paul,
We're saying they are gain-of-function viruses because they were
they're not.
animal viruses that became more transmissible in human, and you funded it.
And
won't
you
admit the truth.
and you
Senator
implying
Paul, your time has expired, and I will allow witnesses who come before this committee to respond.
and you are implying
So that was his definitive rescue. His time expired, and she's allowing Fauci to respond.
That what we did was responsible for the deaths of individual. I totally resent
could
that.
have been.
And if
That it
anybody
could
is
have been.
lying here, Senator, it is you.
And he finished it off. It is you. Tightness in the lip. I'm going to drop the mic moment of readjusting myself in the chair.
Senator Smith.
He can't stop looking at him. He's so stressed. He dropped the mic, and yet he still wants to make eye contact with Paul. He can't stop. He's that stressed about it. Now we have a Democrat that comes in. And I noticed something very important that I will say at the end.
Thank you, Dr. Fauci. And thanks to all
A big movement in the body, a big wave. An ally. I'm with her. The kahuna is calling my name, and she likes me.
of our panelists for being here today. And thank you, Chair Murray and
Still looking at Rand Paul. Ha ha ha, I have a friend.
Ranking Member Burr. I just want to say, Dr. Fauci, is there anything more that you would like to say to counteract these attacks on your integrity that we've all just witnessed?
Well, Senator, thank you. I don't think I have anything further to say. This is a pattern that Senator Paul has been doing now at multiple hearings based on no reality. He keeps talking about gain of function. This has been evaluated multiple times by qualified people to not fall under the gain of function definition. I have not lied before Congress. I have never lied, certainly not before Congress. Case closed.
And he has another drop the mic moment. He is so perturbed over the confrontation that he had with Paul that he cannot stop with his anger.
Thank you. So we are.
And then looks at him and smiles like, I got the last word. That is a personality type that I swear I wish society would put them back where they belong.
16 months into this pandemic, and I think we're at a critical moment. 2/3 of adults have received at least one dose of the vaccine, and at the same time, we are seeing cases rising to about 41,000.
So as she begins to speak, and I hope you notice that the narrative has now went back to where it had originated from. He is still stressed. He's still holding on to that anger. He's still upset.
A day. As Dr. Walensky has said, we have an epidemic here of the unvaccinated. But of course, this continues to affect every single one of us. So it seems to me that our actions and messages in this moment are going to make a huge difference in whether we move forward or backwards, not only here in the United States, but everywhere in the world. You know, today, as I was walking into...
He's still looking at him. He's so mad. And these are the people, I'm sure he is not alone, that are in our government who are unelected, making policy for you and I.
If you'd like to learn more about analysing body language, there is a video course available on Mandy's website for Gold subscribers, where Mandy teaches more about her techniques of deception detection. There's also other content such as the Crime series and Interesting Minds series, available to both Gold and Silver subscribers.
If you like it, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
I would like to thank the sponsor of this video, Fero. Fero is one of the few cryptocurrency projects that I respect. Unlike most other cryptocurrencies, Fero is focused on safeguarding your financial privacy without compromising on trustlessness, which means no third parties are required, and transactions are private by default. Fero also has an exciting roadmap to look forward to. Features such as Instant Send, where payments can both be sent and confirmed within seconds. There's also Elysium, which adds tokenization functionality similar to Ethereum, but it also enables these assets to enjoy Fero's privacy technology. There's many more things on the roadmap, and if you'd like to learn more, head over to fero.org.